Hey everybody, Jim Powers with MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision as we catch up with our coaches again this week, and another terrific weekend for our men's soccer team, the 6th-ranked team in the country, number 1 in the region. Their head coach, David Korn, joins us. And David, great weekend, a great victory, I think, on Friday that really set us up for Sunday against Illinois Springfield, a team that we've always struggled with, it seems like. But let's talk about Friday first. And Lewis, tremendous team. Brought a lot of different things to the table in a physical manner, but it was great to see our guys rise to the challenge and do the things that we know that they can do, even though we're a little shorthanded as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were missing a few players, so that, was a challenge, and I thought the guys adapted to that well. It's been nice so far at this point of the season to see our depth really make a big impact, some with some different guys starting, some with other guys coming off the bench. I think we've seen a lot of goals come from players that have entered in the game, and you always want, when you bring a sub on, to see an impact. You want to, see the team continue to play at a better level, and we've seen that. So I give our guys a ton of credit of keeping themselves prepared for those opportunities. That's not always the easiest thing to do when you're not starting a game, and we're going to need that truthfully as the year goes on. And we saw that on Sunday, even with the heat throughout the course of the weekend. Needing to be able to rotate players, keep guys fresh, and I think that certainly gave us an advantage, and I'm glad the guys took advantage of it.
I looked at the minutes on one of the stat reports yesterday, and our minutes are very even, it seems like, amongst a lot of players. And it's great to have that depth, because when you're moving through a season, especially in conference play against ULVC teams, you need to have that depth, because you never know what's going to happen or who's going to need to step up in certain situations.
Yeah, and that's even something I think we've learned the last few years in the recruitment process has been, how can we bring some players in who have versatility? So, a player, for instance, like Mirza has played midfield for us primarily, but we've needed him to play some outside back. And Christian Brothers, he played left mid and came up with 2 important plays that led to our comeback there. So, having players like Mirza that can slide in different roles, Gavino, who can play in midfield as well as in the back line, I think those things go a long way in the course of a season. We even saw it with Rasmus, who, traditionally has been a winger for us, but has been able to play as a number 10 when we've missed a couple of our center midfielders in some games, and that's important. You want good soccer players, guys that can think the game, guys that can play a few different roles, and hopefully that makes us even a bit more challenging for teams in their preparation.
And I think that does. Looking at, once again, Liam gets 2 more clean sheets, but he doesn't have a save. He only sees a couple shots this past Sunday against Illinois Springfield, but it starts from the front and works to the back. The guys are just doing such a great job. Forward, midfielders, the defensive backs, they're doing such a great job in locking in and not letting very many things get through for Liam. But you also got Liam that is quarterbacking this whole thing back there and directing traffic and putting guys in the right spots.
Yeah, and that's probably been where his biggest growth has been. And I think some of the guys around have pushed him a lot. I think Cody is a tremendous communicator, and I think Liam being in that environment with Cody over the past 18 months, he's grown a lot. And I think, Coach Sean Clancy and Christian Shearsgard have done a good job of making sure that piece is there within the communication. And as the years gone on, I think the continuity with Christian and with our back 4 has improved. And, it's tough because, you justify a save like, hey, there's been a shot and he's had to make a save. Either he's kept it, either he's pushed it into a good area. But he's been connected to our back 4 in really good ways. So if that's coming and catching a cross, if that's dealing with a through ball in the box on a few restarts, that's been dealing with some crosses. And then I thought he made 1 or 2 important plays with his feet where he comes out, he either deals with a ball that we play back to him or a ball that's over our back 4 and he's in the right area. So hopefully if he does those things well, him, our team, we don't have to deal with as many shots on goal. And as the season goes on, that's going to be something important, is how organized can we be? Because, like we saw in the Lewis game, that was tight. There wasn't a lot of chances for each team, and we had to be really organized, and we had to break down a team that was really organized.
You just mentioned Sean, Christian, Derek. I mean, your assistant coaches, you got to give them a whole heck of a lot of credit. 8-0-0, 6th in the country. The poll will be coming out here in a little bit, but you can't do it alone. The guys can't do it alone. They got to be put in the right spots, and I think your assistant coaches have been unbelievable in putting our guys in the right spots.
Yeah, I mean, my job is a lot easier, the fact that we've got 1 good players and 2 a phenomenal coaching staff. So, I mean, to have worked with Derek all 4 years that I've been here, is fantastic. Obviously, I think he's an incredible asset. He's a really good balance for us as a coaching staff. Our job is relationships. He has great relationships with the guys. He spends countless hours doing extra work, creating plans for our guys. And Billy Steinmack, who's a recent graduate, has also made a really big impact in that way. And I know he spends a ton of time extra on the field with the guys. So it's good that our guys want that, but then that those guys are willing to sacrifice their own time and energy, and for Derek to do a lot of our scouting, for Billy to do a lot of statistical analysis. Those things have helped us make good decisions. They've helped us prepare better for games. And then Sean, who's joined the staff this year, I think has immediately made a good impact on our goalkeepers. And we didn't know going into fall who our starting goalkeeper would be. So his task, as well as Christian Shearsgard, who's a graduate assistant for us within the department, they both have been, I think, really good mentors, really good trainers for our goalkeepers, and then they handle a ton of work behind the scenes, if it's recruiting, if it's planning for our trips, so that, hopefully our guys just show up and they think everything's done, right? Hey, all of this has been prepared. If it's, the things that go into travel, like meals, the buses, the itineraries, our players hopefully don't have to do anything but play soccer, and that's what we want them to do really, really well. And again, it's a testament to those guys for all the time and energy they put in.
Talk about road trips. We head on the road, technically for the first time, even though we played out in Kansas City earlier this year against Fort Hays. But, Rockhurst, William Jewell, we know what Rockhurst is going to bring to the table. Whether or not they're a little bit down this year, it doesn't make any difference. We know Tony Tocco is going to do a terrific job and be well prepared for our guys. And then William Jewell on Sunday up in Liberty. It's going to be a big weekend for us to keep things going.
It is. Rockhurst is good. You're talking about the most winning coach in our conference. You're talking about a team that has some really good players from both the St. Louis, Kansas City areas, so some guys that we know even from the recruiting scene. And then you're talking about a program where early in the season they were missing a few guys to injury. I think they were still waiting on a couple players to clear from a compliance standpoint. So I know their team's only going to continue to get stronger, and it's showing their last few results. So we know it's going to be a good challenge. We know that they always field one of the strongest teams in the league, and we're excited to go play. Part of our reason in preseason going to play at Memphis was to get experience being on the road, or playing up in Kansas City already to play Fort Hays was to be used to that trip and that travel. And I think as a coaching staff, we kind of like being on the road because we can plan everything. We know when the guys eat, we know where they're going to be, when they're going to be in bed. Right. So it's a lot less guessing game than being at home, where sometimes there are more more distractions. So we're excited by that part of it, and it's fun to spend time together. And that's even looking back as a player, that's where some of your best memories are. You just are having fun with a lot of your best friends, and we talk about being a family. So this is a good family trip for us, and we've got to work hard to make sure that we do the right things and come out with the outcomes that we'd like to earn.
No doubt, buddy. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
David Korn joins us, the 6th ranked for right now. Once again, the poll will be coming out here a little bit later on Tuesday afternoon. But they'll go to Rockhurst. They'll play at 7:30 on Friday night. That game will be on the GLVC Sports Network. Then travel up the street 20 minutes to Liberty, Missouri to take on William Jewell. 2:30 on Sunday. That game will also be on the GLVC Sports Network. If you can't see it there, follow us on Twitter. We'll keep you updated all weekend long on how our soccer teams are doing. For Coach, I'm Jim Powers. Thanks so much for tuning in to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week. And as always, go Saints.
Go Saints.